Welcome to Raub in the Malaysian central state of Pahang. Durians have made this area famous. A thorny husk encasing creamy flesh that then's described as pure nectar. And now the distinctive taste has reached a whole new market, more than 3,000 kilometers away. Now, it's no longer business as usual for durian farms in many parts of Malaysia. Now, the industry, from the small holders to the middlemen and the retailers, is evolving fast to meet the booming demand from China. Now, I've come to this plantation in the central state of Pahang to take stock of how changes are affecting a traditional way of life. We also go cross-country to Johor to see how durian farmers there are keeping up with their counterparts in Raub, dubbed the Musang King capital of Malaysia. And then to Shanghai for a taste of durians served up hot and steaming in chicken soup.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
June 2019 was a pivotal moment for durian markets in Malaysia and China. Frozen whole fruits in the shell shipped for the first time to Chinese consumers after authorities gave the green light. Now, prior to this, only frozen durian pulp and durian paste like these are allowed to be exported to China. But since June this year, frozen whole durian fruit processed by 5 certified processing plants in Malaysia can be shipped to major cities in China, starting with Beijing, Shanghai and Shenzhen. The Malaysian government expects 1,000 metric tons of frozen whole durians to enter the Chinese market every month, contributing almost $20 million each year to the country's total exports.
In China, there's 1.4 billion people, and it is also said there are 300 or 400 million mid-income customers. They are all waiting for the best of the durian coming to China.
Richie Fu, who heads the China Certification Inspection Company in Malaysia, told me that there's no limit to how much the Chinese market can consume. I got the sense that the more they can eat, the merrier the industry would be.
就你有多少我就能够吃多少，关键是要符合中国的要求，也能够马来西亚能生产出来，中国人能够消费得掉。
Only grade A fruits weighing no less than 2 kilograms each are chosen for export to China. To sanitize the whole fruit and seal in the freshness, the durians must be frozen in liquid nitrogen at below 100 degrees Celsius within hours after harvest. And each fruit must be kept constantly at 18 degrees while in transit. And once thawed, the durian has to be eaten within a few hours. I decide to head down to the district of Raub in Pahang, central Malaysia. The area is sandwiched between two mountain ranges and is home to the Musang King, a popular durian variant. As I drive down the winding road, dotted with makeshift durian stalls, I catch a familiar whiff. Some of the trees are said to be more than 100 years old, and I'm told that durians from these trees yield more complex and ultimately better flavors. After a 2-hour journey, I arrive and meet Caden and Kevin, his business partner. They ventured into durian farming 4 years ago, anticipating the opening of the Chinese market to whole durians from Malaysia.
China has been a big market for durian, and for the past 20-30 years they have been eating Thai durian. The reason why they do not allow Malaysia to export whole fruit, there are a few reasons. Of course, because our planting is slightly different from Thailand, and we do not harvest from the tree, we let it naturally drop by itself.
While walking through the plantation, I see farming techniques that are new to me, like these ropes securing the fruit to the branches to prevent them from falling to the ground and getting damaged. Now, this is one way to ensure that durians get a top grade upon export to China.
Because in farm, we have this we call farm price. We have A-grade durian, B-grade durians. So once the durian fall from the ground, if the durian crack, so it will be automatically categorized as a grade B durian, and hence the price actually go much lower. So in order to protect the yield of the plantation, so we will protect our durian from crack, from spoil, and things like that.
I also found out that every tree now comes with an individual QR code for better plantation management. It's an eye-opener for me how plantations have moved so quickly from the old methods to these new modern ways, as the industry cashes in on China's growing appetite for the Malaysian durian. But it's not always a win-win. I'll show you after the break.
Currently, China imports some 300,000 tons of durians a year, and this is set to rise now that it's agreed to accept imports of the frozen whole fruit from Malaysia. Before this, only Malaysian durian in pulp, paste, and other processed forms were allowed. Most of the durians consumed in China are from Thailand, and that's because Thailand has been supplying tons of durians to China for decades. But the entry of Malaysian durians could be a game changer, disrupting Thailand's dominance. The disruption is more obvious at the consumer retail level. I found this out by taking a walk through an Alibaba-owned Fresh Hippo supermarket, a key retailer of the Malaysian Maoshan Wang or Musang King durians in China. Here, a single Musang King, which yields about 8 seeds, is selling for 250 yuan or $32 US. Shen Chong, the supermarket's general manager, told me a similar amount of durian from Thailand's popular Monthong or Golden Pillow variety sells for about a fifth of that price. But why are Chinese consumers willing to pay so much more for durians from Malaysia? Shen Chong says it's because of their flavor and texture.
我们每天都基本上一上线，在门店一到柜台里面就马上卖完了。从我们现在的整个销售来看，每天其实空运量并不是非常多随着后面我们如果是海运的一个走通了以后，我相信这个量会继续爆发。
Industry players say China consumed 200 grams per capita of durian in 2016. Compare this to 3 kilograms per capita for Singapore and a whopping 11 kilograms per capita for Malaysia. Most of the durians the Chinese eat come from Thailand, which got me thinking, why not Malaysia? Experts I spoke to say the answer lies in the traditional way farmers in Malaysia harvest the fruit, unlike Thai durians, which are plucked from the tree and ripened during transit. Malaysian durians are sent to market only when they ripen and fall, which means they have to be eaten in about 2 days. Anything after that and the fruit tends to rot. But flash freezing or cryogenic freezing technology has the potential to change all that. Using liquid nitrogen, ripe whole durians once frozen can be stored for up to 2 years at minus 18 degrees Celsius. But do they taste as good as fresh durians? I bought this whole Musang King durian and defrosted it by leaving it at room temperature for a couple of hours, and it was fairly easy to open. And now for the moment of truth. It's very cold and you can taste the ice bits in there. But other than that, it's exactly like the fresh Musang King durian. With barely any difference between fresh and frozen, industry players believe Malaysian durians can really take off in China, which means consumers in Malaysia and Singapore might have every reason to be concerned about their supply going to the big spending Chinese market. As for me, I put my belief in market forces, that supply will rise to meet demand. And hopefully that means one day, lesser-known durian varieties such as my favorite red prawn can also be found in China. Lynette Lim, CNA, Shanghai.